Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you all for logging on. We'll begin in just a few minutes. I'm Marjorie Stevens, CEO for Better Business Bureau serving Northern Indiana. And on behalf of your Better Business Bureau, we welcome you today to learn about reputation management. In today's virtual environment, it's important that you have the tools you need to keep your company's reputation perfect. These Lunch and Learn webinars are just one way BBB seeks to help your business succeed. A few housekeeping items. Everyone is on mute. Questions can be submitted anytime throughout the presentation via your chat box. Questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Today's content will be presented by Nicole Thomas, BBB's Communications Director. Nicole is a graduate of Ball State University and served as the Media Relations Director for the Indiana Department of Transportation before finding her home here at the BBB. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you. As Marjorie introduced, I'm Nicole Thomas, Director of Communications, and I'm pleased to be here with you today to talk about reputation management. Thank you for joining us, and let's go ahead and dive on in. So, what is your company's reputation? Do you even know? Having that information and knowing how you got it, and more importantly, what to do with it, is paramount for every business owner. Your reputation impacts all of your relationships, not just with your customers. Your reputation impacts your target audience, or what we call your perfect customer. It also affects your employees, vendors, community leaders and partners, elected officials, and really anyone else that may come into contact with your company. A good business reputation is critical because it facilitates growth in valuable relationships, which will touch all aspects of your network. So today we'll provide you with a brief overview of what reputation management is, how the BBB can help you, and some basic tips that you can take to enhance your company's reputation. So what is reputation management? At its essence, it's influencing and controlling a company's reputation. It's an extension of public relations to improve the company's image in the mind of the consumer, the community, or the public as a whole. Offline reputation management works through traditional means like print, TV, radio, and in-person communication. Online communication shapes the digital sphere, from your company website and social media channels to third-party websites like Yelp, eBay, Amazon, and of course, even bbb.org. A company's reputation depends on personal experience. The marketplace's perception of your brand influences your growth and expansion. Historically, that reputation was spread through advertising, yellow pages, or the word of mouth. But now, with the internet, that expands the process. Everyone can influence public opinion. Social media, blogs, forums, and other online communities create legions of fans or opponents. Your website, search results, and profiles all have an impact on how you are viewed and perceived. Reviews, BBB reviews and others, have a huge impact on that perception. Nearly 95% of all shoppers read reviews before making a large purchase, whether online or in the store. That's why monitoring your reputation online is so important. One customer's bad experience goes much further now than it did when Aunt Thelma told the pastor about what happened to her at the local car wash. The vast reach of the internet and social media can have an enormous advantage for your business. The more people know about you and like you, the more opportunities you have to share your business's message, which in turn increases the number of people who know you and like you. On the other side of that, though, the worse off your reputation is in the eyes of the community, the harder it will be to plan events or hold campaigns, whether they're sales focused or not. A good reputation gives you a competitive edge because a good reputation is the only way that customers know they can trust, pursue, and engage with your business. Reputation management isn't just about making your company look good. It's about setting it up for success so it can thrive in the global market. So, how can the BBB help you? First, the inherent value of the BBB accredited business seal immediately adds credibility that elevates your company's reputation. People rely on the BBB to find businesses that they trust, so having this seal means people trust you more. Recently, Iron Monk Solutions, a marketing firm based in New York, conducted a survey that highlighted exactly how relevant we are. When asked which rating source, Seal, media feature, or badge that they valued most when it appeared on a company website, respondents selected an A+ BBB rating first, followed by 5-star ratings on Google, Yelp, and Facebook reviews, as seen on TV, featured on Forbes, and ranked in INC. So that shows that that seal is of utmost importance and shows a beacon of trust. Plus, having your business listed in the accredited business directory puts your company in front of customers who are looking to spend money with trustworthy local businesses. 8 out of 10 people who view a business profile on bbb.org will choose to work with an accredited business over a non-accredited one. Also, your BBB business profile helps your business be found by search engines like Google and Bing. It helps extend your online branding as well as gives you another result in the search for your company. It shares the BBB branding, which helps raise its trustworthiness for consumers, and that shows Google that it's a good content page. More than 70% of searches on bbb.org originate from search engines like Google. Although consumers may not have intended to end up at the bbb.org, they end up there anyway because your views show up higher than other businesses. Accredited businesses also receive tools to showcase their products, services, and other information right on their profile. We also offer educational events, webinars like this, and more to help you meet and exceed your customers' expectations. If you want to elevate your online presence further, our digital visibility experts are here to help, and we will touch on that briefly later. The BBB also helps to maintain truthful and fair advertising environment. Part of our founding mission more than 100 years ago was to combat misleading advertising, and we carry that legacy into our work today. Through education and voluntary self-regulation, we work to create an advertising environment that allows for honest competition. For example, that means ensuring terms like free actually mean free. If the free product is conditional on purchasing another product or service, then it really isn't free. That condition should be clearly and conspicuously shown, and the price of the purchased product or service should not be increased to cover the cost of that free item. Another example is the phrase satisfaction guaranteed. Only use that when you are willing to give a full refund. If there are limitations, you need to make that apparent. Please know that these are obviously not BBB created rules. They come directly from the Federal Trade Commission. And while BBB is not an enforcement agency, we are a reporting agency, but we are here to help our accredited businesses remain in compliance with those good advertising standards. All advertising claims should be provable. If you say that you're the best business in Indiana, help us understand why. Maybe you won several awards for your outstanding customer service, or you were voted the best place to work in Indiana for multiple years. More than being good advertising, substantiating these claims help you to celebrate what makes your company unique. Also, make sure that all of the claims about sales and discounts have the terms and conditions disclosed. For example, make sure that the sale price has a defined expiration date or that the price being offered or compared is a real price. What can you do if you spot a bad ad in the marketplace? As a business owner, you can report it to the BBB with an example of the advertisement and why you think it's deceptive or misleading, and our core services team will investigate. Now, we have some strategies for you to maintain your online reputation. The same principles apply to offline reputation management as well. However, reputations can be made and ruined online. A single viral video or photo can drastically impact your reputation and your bottom line. An early example of this is Domino's Pizza. For a time, they had very poor results in their reputation management. In 2009, a few employees filmed a very disgusting video featuring Domino's food, which quickly went viral. Very few people wanted to eat at Domino's afterwards, and actually their numbers decreased quite a bit. The company hoped that it would blow over, and they were very slow to respond to the harsh backlash. What happened is for several years, Domino's then began to lose market share to other pizza companies. But soon, I would say about 3 years ago, they most likely realized that they recognized the error of their ways and they faced it head on. And you may remember these commercials because they had a PR campaign that included leadership listening to customer feedback and chefs responding emotionally to the criticism. It culminated in a demonstration of how they were creating a new recipe for their pizza. The authenticity demonstrated that Domino's, as a brand, listened to feedback and was committed to improvement. Over the last 2 years, Domino's has moved up in their market share, and Domino's are starting to reopen locations all across the country. And part of that is in part due to their positive reputation management. So, how can you harness a positive approach for your own business? First, register your brand on major review sites if you have not already. It will allow you to correct any wrong information and be alerted to new reviews when they come in. Second, set up a keyword notification through something like Google Alerts. Make sure that you have multiple keywords and ideas set up. Include your company name, your CEO's name, your flagship products, and consider creating alerts about your close competitors too. Why would you want to set alerts for your competitors? That allows you to watch what they're doing and making news for. If you're looking for a very simple way to start, try searching your company name on Google once a week and keep track of the results. Where does your business place compare to your competitors? When you look at the search list, where do you place versus your competitors? Is there any mention of your company in the local media? Should there be? If you're doing something that's newsworthy or important, it should show up when you Google your name. If it doesn't, then you're not necessarily harnessing your reputation in a way that's positive for you. If you want to invest in some additional tools, many companies offer reputation management software and programs. BBB uses a company called Cision, and they help us to monitor all of the mentions in all media, print, broadcast, and online even. And then they even break it down into a report that tells you what your earned media value is, or how many clicks or hits or views you received. And so it's very helpful because they're doing the work behind the scenes. It obviously also costs money. So there are definitely some free tools out there, but you want to search bbb.org to find a credible provider, or talk to your accredited business representative if you're an AB, and they'll help you kind of steer you to maybe some tools that you could use to monitor your reputation. Remember, one of the most essential steps you should take to monitor your reputation is to respond to all reviews of your business, even when the customer is wrong. Responding promptly and politely to reviews, whether they're good, bad, or ugly, shows consumers that you care about their experience. They want to know that you are committed to being fair. They don't expect you to be perfect. And that's something that I think a lot of business owners have a little trouble with. They want everything, when you search their name, they want everything to be positive, to be coming up roses. And I think most business owners understand that that's just not possible. When you do business, there are just going to be complaints. You cannot you can't make everyone happy. So you want to make sure that you are responding to those concerns, because by and large, the response is what people look at. Certainly they read the complaint, but your response is what sets you apart from others. So research shows that customer trust peaks at about 4.7 stars out of 5 and decreases as your rating gets closer to 5 stars. And the reason for that in some ways is because scammers have been so adept at finding ways to increase their, a fake business and giving it 5 stars that people don't actually trust a 5-star rating anymore. So they understand that no one is perfect, and there's no way that you can actually be a 5-star rated business, because that's just how it is. And so they actually think the research shows that after 4.7, the closer you are to 5, they may think that you're a scam and might not do business with you at all. So the point of that is to say that some complaints are okay. It's not the end of the world when we get a complaint. The most important part of that is to respond to the complaint in a respectful manner. Another stat here is that 68% of consumers trust a business more when they read a mix of good and bad reviews, but an ignored or poorly handled review or complaint can quickly spread across the web and have an impact on your bottom line. So again, they are looking for reviews so that they can get an idea of what your company is about. And any shopper would expect to see, both negative and positive. It really is about how you respond to that. Okay, so in addition to salvaging a poor customer experience, take the chance to educate future and current customers about your policies and procedures. So that's where it's really helpful when you are responding to someone's complaint. Someone has a complaint about something, you respond with your policies and procedures, and the person who is reading that, the future shopper who is reading that, is able to learn from your response what your company's policy is, and so they don't make the same mistake or don't have the same problem. So that's some positive proactive education when you are replying to reviews and complaints. To help everyone's experience go more smoothly, that's what we suggest. Because business responses are so important, that BBB encourages businesses to respond to complaints very promptly. Prompt dialogue helps to create a very fair solution, one that is agreeable to both business and consumers. When responding to those reviews, though, again, we always want you to be positive and professional. Individualize your response, because no one wants to get a form letter. And as a matter of fact, you will understand that it's a form letter if that is the response to 7 complaints that you're reading through. You'll know after the second or third one that that was a form letter. And when you get a form letter, nobody has a warm, fuzzy feeling about those. So, you can kind of see that the business is just popping out the same answer. And that, that is not really a solution necessarily. We always want you and our team here to try to create a win-win whenever possible. So we're going to try this in practice. This is an example of a complaint file with the BBB. I'll give you a few minutes to read that there, so you can take a second and read it. But I want you to think of, what did you think of this, and how would you respond if this was a complaint? Okay. Okay, so here we have a concerned consumer. They obviously have a problem with their faulty shutters. It's been several months, and we see concerns and complaints like this, obviously not about hurricane shutters, here at this BBB quite a bit. And so it's basically the customer is saying that you did not deliver what I ordered. And so here's how the business responded. Take a look at this again, read through this, and again, what do you think? How does their response make you feel? What would you have done differently? And so you've read the complaint. Now you're going to read what the business, how do you think this business handled it? So what strikes you here? Is this first and foremost, is this an appropriate response? And you don't, Bob, what do you think?
There's just several words here. They're inflammatory, your ignorance, absurd, outright ridiculous. There's ways to conduct business without invoking name calling or putting someone's opinion down. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you've got an obligation with the public to be professional in all dealings. In my opinion, choosing those words as a response is not the way to go about it.
Yeah, so, they were very personal in their response. They took this personally. And as many small business owners do, your business is your baby. And it's like, it's like saying you had an ugly baby. Nobody likes to hear that you got an ugly baby. But having said that, Bob is right on the money. The first sentence, I think, is definitely my favorite. Although you are an attorney, your ignorance to state statutes and regulations for contractors is apparent. That just is going to set the consumer off, and they are not going to take that as, an appropriate response. So I don't even know if the customer read the rest of the response, because I don't know if I would have read the rest of the response if that was the first sentence. And so John can kind of chime in here, but what happens then, right? Then the consumer comes back and says, I don't accept that as a response. And now we're going to go back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I will jump in, Nicole, and that is exactly right, Bob. You're right on point. In any letter or communication with a consumer, whatever starts that communication can set the tone for whether or not the consumer is open to the rest of the communication. If those first two sentences, again, will completely inflame the consumer to the point that they will not read the rest of it, and the rest of it is terrible and awful in their opinion, even though the rest of the email or letter or communication is well written, conciliatory, the beginning sets the tone. Nicole, you're exactly right. Most consumers won't even have read past the first sentence.
Yeah, I stopped at ignorance.
Yep.
So here is a sample response that takes a very different direction. So we want to show you a bad versus a good. And so take a look at this one. What are the differences? There are very glaring differences between these two. Talk a little about what is different and why this one is better, because I think we can probably all agree that this one is better. And I personally think that the most important parts here of this response are that they stick to the facts. That's number one. They admit that there was a problem. That's number two, because a lot of consumers just want to feel heard, to feel understood. Sometimes we can't solve the problem, but to know that we recognize they have a problem and the business recognizes that there was a problem goes a really long way. And then the last, it provides some solutions for both current and future customers. And so that defends the business's actions without attacking the customer. And I think that is the biggest thing, that if you leave here with nothing else that we've said, when you're responding to a customer, you want to defend your business actions without attacking the customer. Do you think this one's better? No ignorant person, that no inflammatory, no name calling.
Definitely better. And I would say it's even going a step farther with that last action to call them again. So they've stated their reasons in a much more professional manner, but they're taking that extra step to give them an opportunity to talk it out with them, which is ultimately, again, going back to your earlier point, people want to be heard.
Absolutely. And that is good customer service, but it's also good reputation management. And I think that is, so whether that customer has a good feeling in their heart for the business at this moment, they could going forward because they have asked to at least have a conversation. And so I think you're right. So one of the ways that you can also boost your business's reputation is by actively engaging your customers and asking for reviews with whether it be on BBB, Google My Business, social media, or more. 7 out of 10 customers will leave a review. And research from Spiegel's Research Center shows that having just 5 reviews increases the likelihood of purchase by 4 times. The Review Solutions app that offered by the BBB to accredited businesses allows you to text satisfied customers. You send them a link, sorry. So you text them a link and then they click it and then they can review your business on bbb.org. But the important thing here is that I call this stocking your pond, okay? So if you go fishing and you have one and all you see is one very aggressive piranha, chances are you're gonna leave that pond and say, no, I don't wanna fish here, I'm good. So what you wanna do, and that aggressive piranha is that one negative review that you had. You've got a big, not necessarily a big, but a negative review, and it's sitting there on your profile, whether it be BBB or Google or whatever. So that's that piranha. But you want to stock your pond with a lot of fish, right? So the more reviews that you get into your pond, the more fish you get into your pond. When people come to do fishing, that one piranha is drowned out. He is one of many. And so while it still may be a negative interaction, it it is reduced in severity by the multiple positive reviews. And so that's why reviews are really important. That's why people read reviews. I mean, I imagine people on this call read reviews before they make purchases. So you want to have a large, robust amount of reviews so that the positive can also outweigh the negative, or so that people get a very clear view of what your company is. So stock your pond however you can do that. If you're a BBB accredited business, you take advantage of the review app. Text people at the point of service when they're the happiest. They're the happiest when they've just made a purchase. So text them that link, or remind them in some way to leave a review on Google. Utilize your social media to remind people to review your business, to leave a review, or to give you a like, or or a 5-star, so that you can boost your business's reputation and stock your pond with more than just that one feisty piranha. Offline, you can try to attend local events to show community support, explore scholarships, donations, sponsorships to nonprofits in your community. If that makes financial sense to you, sponsor a Little League team, give back to the Torch Awards, whatever it may be. This helps consumers have a warm, fuzzy feeling about your brand. And then you get the reward of giving back. So it may never actualize into sales, but reputation management isn't all about sales. It's about making people have that affinity for your company, so that when they do need something in your market, they will think of you. They'll already have that affinity for your company. Once you have the time, you really want to develop a plan and invest into social media. Research where your customers spend their time. Are they on Facebook more? Are they a Twitter crowd? Is it a mix of both? But before you dive into posting, you want to think about the character and the tone of your business. How does that relate to the tone of your target social media platform? So Twitter is it's shorter bursts, sometimes lighthearted, can go, a little sideways. Facebook's a little more even keel. You've got, I don't know, during an election year, maybe not, but normally it is a little more even keel. You got, people sharing their kids and their food and, their most recent purchases. So you really want to take stock of what are you trying to say? Who are you trying to say it to? And which platform fits that better? Because what happens is, a lot of times people jump in and say, well, I'm going to do them all. And so they do a really subpar job with all of them, instead of focusing all of their attention into one or two that they could do a great job on. So, be authentic. You always want to make sure that your company's tone shines through in your posts, because you want people to know who you are, and that the way that they can do that is through the tone of your posts. Another thing is you get a lot of good feedback from behind the scenes type posts. So instead of just a sales message, and what they actually show, I was just reading something the other day that says 80% of your content should actually be non-marketing content. It should be getting to know you behind the scenes. Here's who we are. This is why we do what we do. This is why we love the community. And then the other 20%, that's where your marketing comes in. Your marketing comes in to remind people that, yeah, you're all of these things, but you also sell these products. You also offer these services. So you want to make sure that, number one, you're focusing on the correct social media networks, that you are having the correct voice for the social media networks, and that you are being authentic and showing them who you are. So this is just another side. It may make sense to have more than one social media network in your plan, but you want to pace yourself. It may, since each one is different, you'll need to put effort into each one to stay a part of the conversation. So I was talking about this yesterday to my new employee. You can post anything you want onto social media, but then you just shove it out into the vast expanse. If you're not creating relationships and communicating with your customers on social media, so when they say something to you, you need to reply to them. If they're asking a question on your social media, you should reply to them on social media. It's not a one-way conversation. It is a reciprocal conversation. And that's where people go to have conversations with businesses today. As strange as that sounds, the younger younger the consumer is, the more likely they are to reach out on electronic methods or social media, online and online contact form. Soon to be gone will be the days of picking up the phone and calling the business to complain. It will be a complaint on an online venue. It will be a complaint on your Facebook page. It will be a complaint directly to you via Facebook message. So that's understanding where we're going. Social media is a huge, huge thing. I think I was reading something that says 30% of companies use social media pages as their website now. They don't even have an actual website. They just say, here, find us on Facebook. So of course, all your complaints are going to come in there. So you want to make sure that the tone, the content, and all of that is authentic, and then that it represents you appropriately. And that helps you to create new content, or that helps you to create new customers and attract, and retain the ones you already have. So. Okay, another tip here is to investigate how you can improve your search engine optimization. If you don't know much about SEO, which is the short term for search engine optimization, it's basically when people type you into Google, how far do you rank up on the list? Are you on the first page or on the 7th page? If you're on the 7th page, you want to try to get on the first page, because research shows that the majority of people will choose a business on the first page. They see the first page of Google as being the upper echelon of searches. Very few people go past the first page, and hardly anyone goes past the 2nd page. So if you are on page 3 or later, you probably will not even get looked at. So that's something that's really important. You want to investigate how you can improve that. The first page of Google gets 71% of search traffic. The further your company is from the top, the further you are from the customer's mind. You want to make sure that your page is set up for success to get and hold a customer's attention. So the first thing you want to do is claim your Google My Business listing, if you have not already done that, so that you can show up in local search traffic results. Perfect search engine optimization takes dedicated professional help, but BBB has a digital visibility team of experts that can give you a free digital review. They will take a look at your digital presence and kind of show you how you can improve on that SEO. How can you be found? What are ways that you can, what are tactics that you can take to be found more often on the internet? So if you want to invest in more advanced digital marketing, our in-house digital visibility experts have several packages to help you showcase your business. We offer enhanced listings, enhanced listing placements on bbb.org. They make sure you show up first when consumers are looking for a trustworthy business. So if you are a roofer and people come into bbb.org, they get there and they see and the list of roofers, the first 3 of them may be enhanced listing placements, meaning that they have paid to be in those spots and they are going to be seen first. And the majority of people won't, if they find one in those top 3, they're probably not going to even scroll down to find anyone else. So enhanced listing placements are a way that you can get noticed. Google display ads showcase you to your customers who want to buy the kind of product that you're promoting. So I'm not the Google guru here, but they have these algorithms. You know how they talk about Google following you, or like Facebook is listening to you, because Google has this entrenched system of algorithms that follow you around basically. And so you've gone to the winery with your phone and they know you like wine, so they begin serving you ads for wine. I mean, it's really, it's a little strange, but it works. And so like, it's a little strange to the consumer. Like, how did you know that I like wine? Because you go to the winery every weekend. That's how, and Google knows, or you've Googled wine purchases or whatever it is. I mean, Google, they gather all of that data on you from your cell phone, your internet searches and things like that. So that is a way that you can help get noticed, because Google knows when people want windows or when they want a new bank. And then we have trusted advice videos, and they position you as an expert to consumers looking for guidance when searching for your type of products. It's content marketing. And then in addition, if you need a website, graphic design work, or other digital marketing options, BBB has a local full service digital marketing agency partner that can assist. So there are some tools there that we can provide to you to help you take advantage of that. So that is all that we have left for today.
Just one comment I'll add, Nicole. As you aptly said, BBB is here to help businesses. There are times when businesses will come to us to help review their responses, whether to a review or a complaint. We don't tell businesses what to say, but sometimes we help them craft the most professional response. The first response may often be emotional, and sometimes we can help them craft a response that positions the business the way they want to be positioned. So we're happy to do that.
Well, I'd just like to add that reputation management is a broad topic that spans many styles and approaches. So if you remember to be authentic, consider the customer, and respond professionally to reviews, you will set your business up for success.